4. Plenty of time for John now. Squeezes, steps up in the pocket. LA can run. He's got the 10. Head first. He dives off the 5-yard line.
Manning out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning.
Rushing forward, ball comes out of the hands of Newton. It's on the ground and still on the ground. Picked up by T.J. Ward at the 4-yard line.
Here we go. First snap of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Stiff arm got him free to the 30. To the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first.
And welcome everybody to the 5280 podcast on the MHRT Network. I am Mundungus Creevy, joined by my co-host Glenn Hauser, Mr. Boggins, Cameron Parker, and Bree. Now, first things first, we are a fan-led Broncos-based podcast, bringing you all sorts of Broncos-related craziness. You are currently listening to, like I said, the 5280 podcast, which airs every Tuesday at 7654 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And also make sure you tune into our other podcasts, starting with Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill every Wednesday, same time, same place, and a very special episode of the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast that is normally on Thursday. This week is going to be on Friday as they welcome in Justin Simmons. Now, we have a very special guest of our own. He is originally and still kind of from Wiggins, Colorado, then to Kansas State, then was drafted by the Denver Broncos in the second round of the 2019 NFL Draft. He is your starting left guard, the founder of the Risner Up Foundation, and a man trying to bring as much joy and purpose to as many people as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, Dalton Risner.
Let's go! Yeah. Let's go! Big men unite! Big men unite!
How are we doing, Dalton?
I'm doing great, man. I'm happy to be on here. I love the orange and blue. Thank you all for having me on. I'm excited to be on here, man. Go Broncos, baby. Let's do it. Let's talk.
Now, normally I would start this thing off, but since we have a birthday girl in the house, Miss Bree, you get to kick her off.
Yes, I feel so honored. Not only am I a huge fan, obviously, by my shirt. So excited to have you on the show tonight. I did want to start off with, not even an easy question, but I think the most honest is your road and your story is so tremendous. Homegrown talent. I know that you found out kind of in a different sort of way when you were drafted. You were, I believe, at Elway's restaurant. Can you take me back to that feeling and then talk to me about how you're excited about this new era for the Denver Broncos heading into the 2022 season?
Yeah, it's a great question. First off, happy birthday, Bree. Congratulations on that. Thank you for being a fan. I love that you're wearing my shirt. That's awesome. I think it's always so cool when people support me. So I do not take that for granted. Thank you so much. When it comes to my experience of when I first got drafted to the Broncos, I mean, it sounds cliche, but I was born and raised, I was born in Springfield, Missouri, but I moved here when I was like 4 years old. So all I know is Colorado. I went to school here, graduated from high school here, grew up going to Broncos games. All I wanted to do was wear the orange and blue. And I grew up in a household where you don't miss a Sunday of football. You watch the Denver Broncos, and there's pictures of Elway everywhere. So when the draft came around and I was at Elway's restaurant, and John Elway called me, and John Elway said, do you want to be a Denver Bronco? We're drafting you. Like, the rush of excitement and joy, like, I don't even think I quite realized that. I catch myself nowadays saying, I wish I could go back to that night so I could enjoy it more. I was so hungry to get in here and be the guy and be the starter. I don't think I quite relished it like I should. But you know what? I'm a competitor. That's just what I do. When it comes to excitement now, I think that this excitement is it's a different type of excitement. That was just pure joy. When it comes to right now, like, I'm excited for the future. At that moment when I was drafted, I was so excited for what had happened to me. But this excitement I have now is like, we have a real shot. We have the tools to do it. And we, year to year, I'm always going to tell people, hey, I think we have the tools, but we have Russell Wilson, right? I'm a big believer in this. Don't get me wrong. I think offensive line is important. wide receivers are important. But when you have a QB like Russell Wilson, you're already in the mix. You're in the mix. You can make something happen. I mean, you look at the teams that are in the playoffs, y'all. It's usually people like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, like, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford. Like, that's usually who's in the playoffs, who's winning games. And now we got Russell Wilson, who's right in there with those guys, 9-time Pro Bowler. So my excitement's through the roof. I just want to make sure I'm the best left guard I can be and hold down my end of the bargain, which is going to happen. No ifs, ands, buts, or about. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to protect for this dude. And I want to win a championship. I want to see the streets painted orange and blue. I want to celebrate. I want to put in the work. I don't only want to talk about the good stuff. I want to put in the work that will lead us to that, right? I don't want to just talk about the parade and the Super Bowl and the playoffs. I want to talk about camp. I want to talk about OTAs starting here in 4 weeks. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be putting in that work because I want to be able to have the celebration in the end.
Dalton, I'm like literally about to bust through the door. Right
now. Draft you again. That was a great. Can we just draft you again? That'd be great.
I wanted to ask you. So when news of the Russell trade hit, 3-part question. How did you find out? Who was the first person you called or texted after? And have you met Russ in person yet?
Yeah, so I don't have my social media, my marketing team runs. So I kind of like to take a break from that during the off season. They kind of just run everything and they'll text me things here and there. So truth be told, I just got home from a workout facility. I actually didn't know that Aaron Rodgers had been signed. So like for me in that moment, I was still kind of in the back of my head waiting to see what happened with Aaron Rodgers because that was kind of the talk that everyone was talking about is we might get that guy. So I remember sitting there and I got like probably 20 to 30 text messages all at once. Like, I mean, at one time, everyone was like, whoa, like no one was really saying Russell Wilson's name. It was all like, whoa, no way, QB1, all this stuff. Who do you think is going to be traded? All these things. And I'm like, what's going on? So I called my agent as soon as possible. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on with Broncos country? And he's like, well, Aaron Rodgers just signed a deal with the Packers. And you guys are getting Russell Wilson. And there's been some people traded. So one, huge excitement, man. I'm like, no way. Like, we're getting Russell Wilson. This is a game changer. 2, I was anxious to see who was going to be traded. Definitely hoping that wasn't going to be someone named Dalton Risner. I definitely wanted to be on this team. Yeah. I'm not saying I think I deserve to be traded. Hey, it's a possibility, man. I could have been. Yeah. I'm thankful to be here. Doesn't make me any happier that the guys that got traded, man. I loved all those guys, but it was crazy. So I was at the house, man. The first person I called was my agent. And then I think the third question, what was it again, Glenn?
Have you met Russ in person yet?
I have not met Russ in person. It was a bummer. I was actually speaking in Wyoming the day that he had his press conference here, so I wasn't able to go meet him. But I FaceTime with him. I'm sure you guys heard that. That was a pretty special moment too. And I don't say that to release insider knowledge and to like let people know inside things because I'm not one to do that. The reason I told you guys that is because that's special. Yeah. That is special. Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks, a 9-time Pro Bowler, Walter Payton Man of the Year, decided to call his offensive line the day after he got traded. He's married. He has kids. He's trying to figure out where he's going to live, how he's going to get here. I can only imagine the social media that was blowing up. I can only imagine the amount of people calling him and texting him. And he took the time to FaceTime his O-line, his big boys up front, and say, let's chop it up. Let's get to know each other. I've watched your guys' film, by the way. Tell us specific things about each of us that he loves. Like, it was no bull crap. He had watched our film. So there's a lot of cool things I'd talk about. But I know you guys know this. I know Denver Bronco country is in love with Russell Wilson, rightfully so, but he's a very special dude.
Dalton, I got to ask you, Dalton, I got to ask you a question, and it's piggybacking a little bit off of Bree, and obviously with the beginning of the season and stuff. You told us when on the other podcast that I do, mainly Broncos, right? I mean, because the last time I talked with you was in July. I mean, you have a chip on your shoulder. You always have a chip on your shoulder. So I got to ask, to piggyback off of Bree's question, what are your expectations? Your expectations, now with Russell Wilson in the mix, what are your expectations for this season?
Yeah, man. I'll always carry that chip, and I know this is gonna. I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but I just don't think what I've done in the NFL so far, I'm very proud of. I look every year. I don't know if there's politics involved. I've had 3 penalties in 3 years. And I know that's not all that matters. There's guys that get 8 to 9 in a year. I've had 1 holding call in 3 years. I have had 4 sacks in 3 years. And I pride myself on things like this. I pride myself on backing up for my quarterback and blocking for him, making way, hustling. I'm really proud of the work I've done. And frankly, Cameron, I have a chip on my shoulder because I don't think I have the respect I deserve.
Yeah.
And I got Hall of Fame coaches like Mike Munchak telling me the work I put. I'm not on here telling you I'm the best because I'm not. Yeah. But I want to be the best. And I'm going to be the best someday. But I also don't think that, what I hear out there, another reason why I don't have social media, because what I hear out there, I just don't believe. I don't have time for. I don't think that represents who I am. I think I'm a really good football player, and I want to keep proving that to the Broncos. So I do take a lot of pride in that, man. When it comes to my expectations for this season is we will be in the playoffs. We have the quarterback to make that happen, and it starts with quarterback. But truth be told, as an offensive line, we got to go out there and protect this dude. We know Garrett Bowles is going to hold his end of the bargain. We know Quinn Miners is going to do his job. We got Lloyd Cushenberry and Graham Glasgow. They're going to do their job. Right tackle, sounds like we got Tom Compton and Calvin Anderson that are probably going to be duking it out for the job. So we got a lot of guys that can make this happen. So I hate to say it, man. I hate to say it because it sounds so cliche, but we're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to be in the playoffs, and that's what I expect. We're going to put in the work. What I love about Russell the most, Cam, is he ain't scared to talk about the work. He said in his interview, in his press conference, he said, we're going to practice and we're going to put on a show. He said, we're going to get to work out there at practice. And what we have needed, y'all, for 3 years, and this isn't slamming anybody, right? Mm-hmm. I have to do my job, and I got to do my job, so I never like to talk about anyone else's job. But what I'll say is for 3 years, we've needed a quarterback to lead our ship. Yep. Not a quarterback just to lead our ship, but we need a quarterback to take control of this whole team. And, dude, this dude is going to take control of the team. I mean, you feel like you're in the huddle with him, watching him whenever he's on his press conference. You just want to listen to this guy. You respect him so much. He's been there, done that. And I think he's just going to take control of this whole team, and he's going to lead us where we need to go. And I think that that's going to be huge for us as a team. I think we underestimate the power of having a guy that'll lead us the way Russell's going to.
Man, I don't think we even need to ask you, but we can kind of just see it on your face. How much of an energy shift has this been where you have someone like Russell Wilson lead your offense, Justin Simmons on defense, Nathaniel Hackett, George Payton, and someone like you who comes in with a chip on their shoulder, like, I want to be the best at my position. Like, how much of an energy shift is this where the potential is just insane?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You can ask my boy Cam. I've probably been this way since my rookie year, man. I'm always going to bring the energy, bring the juice. Mm-hmm. Being from Wiggins, Colorado, I'm going to call you Mr. Boggins because that's what it's showing up as, my guy. I don't take one day for granted being in the league, man. Like, I'm a kid. I'm a small town boy that is living out my dream. You be darned if I wake up any day and take this for granted because I want to do this for 20 years. I'm going to do this as long as I can. So I'm going to take advantage of that every single time. I'm going to bring that energy. I'm going to love what I do. And I'm going to bring that to the table because I might not be the most athletic. I might not be the most powerful dude out there on the field. I guarantee you I don't walk into Walmart next to Chris Jones from the Chiefs or next to, whoever the heck, Von Miller, Bradley Chubb. They're not going to say, oh, Dalton, you're that NFL. They're going to look at those dudes like they're a phenom, right? I might not even have the body type, but I love this game so much. So I'll always bring the juice. But there has been an energy change. Listen, Broncos country changed overnight. It changed from everybody walking around almost, I feel like, putting their Bronco hat in their jeans because they didn't want to have to hear from somebody about the Denver Broncos to the next morning, people got their gear on. This city looks orange and blue everywhere you go. And I'm like, part of me was a little upset. I'm like, what the heck? Where's y'all's gear been? But part of me was just stoked, man, because I feel like the energy shifted. The energy didn't shift for guys like Jay Sims. Jay Sims brings that juice. He's a dog. The multiple guys you named. Hackett, he's a dog. He brings that juice. I think you just got a team full of guys that have juice, a team full of guys that want to be great. And adding Russell to the mix makes all those guys that want to be great want to be even greater. And then all those guys on the team that may not have had that juice, it's going to make them bring it, man. So your word energy, I think, is going to be the mantra of the Denver Broncos this next season. Between Nathaniel Hackett, George Payton, Russell Wilson, like, Energy is the big word, man, and we're going to bring it.
No, I kind of want to take it back just a little bit because I was listening to a bunch of your interviews before, and one thing caught my ear, and it was when you were playing high school, you got the nickname of Moose.
Yeah.
And then you had a teammate that was nicknamed Bear, right?
Yeah.
Is there any specific reason as to why you were nicknamed Moose?
There's no specific reason, man. I'm just a big dude, so my friends would just be like, "What's up, Moose? Like, you big moose. It's hard to move you big moose." And I like moose. I like the mountains. I'm from Colorado, so we thought it was fitting. And then my other buddy, I gave the nickname to, Bear. He was in college at K-State, and he was very, very hairy. Like, he had a hairy back, hairy arms, the whole deal. So I called him a big old grizzly bear, man. So we called him Bear and me Moose. And, yeah, that's kind of how it started, my man.
We got a KB82 asking if you played any other positions when you were growing up, and if you did, what was your favorite?
Yeah, man, I played a lot of positions. I was center in high school my whole career and a little bit of left tackle. Going to Kansas State, I played 1 year at center, and then my coach moved me to right tackle, and that's actually where I flourished at Kansas State. I played 3 years at right tackle. That's a position I've always, I'm going to play anywhere in the NFL. I'm going to play anywhere. Anywhere my coaches want me, that's where I'll play. But the tackle position, maybe not the left side in the NFL, but the right tackle position has always been a position I've really loved. So maybe at some point in my career I can get back there, but definitely those are kind of all the positions I played. I played little quarterback. I threw a pick six before. Played a little tight end. I didn't have any catches. I've tried to be one of them pretty boys that look good on TV. It's just not me. So I grew out the beard. I've accepted who I am.
Yeah. Along the lines of you being a physical specimen, a presence, you're covered in these beautiful pieces of artwork. Can you tell me which tattoo is your favorite and possibly why, or two if you have them?
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I love the artwork. It's kind of funny, Bree. I grew up in a house where if you had a tattoo, you couldn't live at the house. And very conservative, old school family. And I showed up after college with some tattoos talking about Jesus and some cool stuff. And now mom and dad both have tattoos on their arms. So I definitely swayed them, which is pretty cool. My favorite tattoo will be right here, if you can kind of see it. This is my family tree. I'll move it like right there. I have a couple quotes on here. One of them is families are the compass that guide us. They are inspiration to reach great heights, and they are our comfort when we falter. And then I also have a quote that said, family is not just a word. It's where you are, who you are, and where you will always belong. Family is everything. And on this family tree, I carry people that mean so much to me. So my parents, my brothers, my grandparents, my buddy Clint, who committed suicide in high school, a young man that had cancer that died. I carry him with me everywhere I go. My fiance Whitney is about to be added on June 19th. She's going to get on the family tree. I left some space. Can you guys see it? I left some space right there to put Whitney's name. So anyways, my family tree is definitely my favorite. I just feel like it's a way to carry people with me that I love so much.
Arm tree buddies. Oh yeah.
Arm tree buddies.
Arm tree buddies.
I like it.
You're known for your community service almost as much as for your football prowess. And one of the unusual things is that you got involved in community service while a college student, while American, but you were doing things with multiple people, visiting a secretary on a regular basis in a nursing home, getting involved with a 32-year-old man that used to, at the time that you would take bowling, and then the Hampton family with Caden. And for a college kid, especially with your type of schedule, what drove you to serve people like that? And what's your relationship with the Hampton family at this point?
Well, man, great questions. Thank you so much for acknowledging that, Glenn. You give me one of the greatest compliments anyone could give me, and that's that people know me for my community more than they do football. And if I have one wish, it's that no one remembers me as Dalton Risner, the football player. Football is a sport that, can last for some 20 years, if you're Tom Brady, 50 years, but for most, like 15 years. And that's not a sport that will ever define me. I love it so much. And I hope to be the biggest, baddest, blankety blank left guard to ever go through the Denver Broncos. But more than that, what I do in the community is where my passion lies and what I think defines me in this world. Being a man of faith, and loving Jesus Christ and feeling like that's why I'm down here. That pushes me to impact people. And not only do I want to impact them, Glenn, but I want to empower other people to be kind too. I want to empower other people to give back to people that need it. This world has gotten so fast. We drive by people that need their tire help with their tire. We don't hold the door for people if we don't know them. We don't ask random people how their day's going, right? Like, because we don't know them. And I just think life has gotten so fast for us. And a lot of us in this world have gotten a little selfish with just trying to accomplish what we need done, right? It's an example of like this. For example, this is a great example of like, I'm extremely busy and time is very valuable in the off season. But, you know, when you guys reached out through Twitter, you said something like, Dalton really wants to be here. My marketing team texted me, right? And they said, Mile High Roundtable, right? Mile High Roundtable, you know, had said something on Twitter, right? And like, for me, I think it's so dang cool that you guys think Dalton Risner, this kid from Wiggins, Colorado, is cool enough to come on your podcast. And y'all might be like, come on, dude, you're a Denver Bronco. But to me, like, that means a lot, man. Like, I take a lot of pride in who I am as a man and what I try to be in this world. And I want to take time for people. So I guess I'm trying to use this as an example just to show that, like, we should all slow down from time to time. Slow down. We should help people. We should be there for people. We should give our time to other people, no matter what we do, no matter how much money we make. And I've just grown to love that. Like, there's no greater feeling, you know, than impacting somebody and them just seeing, like, you seeing the impact you made on them. Like, whew, I'll stop there, Glenn. But my relationship with the Hampton family is strong. Caden and the whole Hampton family are invited to my wedding. I really hope Caden can make it. I visit Caden once a year. I promised him to do that. So my visit this year is planned for April 30th, a weekend that I have off during OTAs. I'm going to go down there and see Caden, which is going to be awesome. We FaceTime. He's doing well. His mom and dad send me his postcards. And then my foundation actually helped Will and Steph Hampton, his two parents, and all the kids move into a new home this past year. They had a break-in. Their dad was shot. This is on top of their son having ALL leukemia cancer. They have not been dealt a fair hand. They were in kind of a rough neighborhood. So my foundation, along with, you know, them helped them get into another home out there in Topeka, which was just incredible, man. So they're doing good. Caden's been in remission for over 3 years. So technically his cancer is gone and hopefully it never comes back. But things there are good, man. That's for sure.
Well, I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I kind of have a good lead in for this one because you talked about your faith and how open you are with your faith. And I'd heard the story that you talked about Morgan Burns, and I kind of wanted to see if you wanted to share that and fill us in on how that all went down.
Oh, man, it's a great question. So one thing I want to say before I start this story for everyone out there listening is it's like not hard at all to follow Jesus Christ, and there's like zero requirements. I just want people to know before I talk about it that one thing I used to struggle with is I felt like I didn't deserve to follow Jesus, and I thought to be a Christian you had to like never drink, and I thought you had to like never make a mistake, and like you had to be perfect and never cuss, and you had to do everything right in your life. And that's just the complete opposite. If you ever meet anybody in this world that tries to tell you that they're perfect, they're wrong, and you should not follow them. Like, I'm the most imperfect person in the world. I sin every single day. I have plenty of things that I don't do right. So I just want people to know that, man. Like, it's pretty easy to follow Jesus. There's zero requirements. And he already loves you, you know, in all of our jobs, right? Everyone on this call today, everyone on this podcast today, we all seek approval. This whole world seeks approval. That's what we have in common. We all might do it in different ways and at different lengths, but there's one part of our lives that none of us have to seek approval in. I get told whether I'm good enough every day of my life for my work, and I've accepted that. That's great. That's part of my job. But there's one area in my life I don't, and that's with Jesus. So wanted to make sure I put that out there. With Morgan Burns, everybody, it's a pretty awesome story. Morgan was a teammate of mine at Kansas State, first team All-American kick returner, great football player. And his dream was always to be closer to God and work with God and tell other people about God. But he's also a good football player, and his dream was the NFL. So my freshman year, maybe it was my redshirt freshman year, Morgan Burns was going to the NFL. And he was the one who taught me who Jesus was. He told me everything I just told you guys 2 minutes ago about Jesus. He showed me that. I was always the person that was like, whoa, Jesus has never talked to me. I've never heard Jesus in my ear, like ever, right? And Morgan was like, you got to open up the Bible and read, right? You got to hear about Jesus. And I started to do that. So credit to Morgan for that. Morgan gets to a training camp. Morgan was not drafted. Morgan did not sign a undrafted contract going into camp, right? He was one of those guys that was just invited to mini camp. So this mini camp is like after the draft. Usually they pick like 1 or 2 guys that just show up to mini camp, right? And those guys have to take the spots of guys that already signed undrafted contracts. If you're drafted, you're pretty much going to make it through mini camp easily. Morgan shows up, crushes it, defies the odds. This team offers Morgan Burns a spot on the 90-man roster to go into training camp. Morgan Burns was one of the earliest people to ever retire in the NFL. He retired like 10 seconds after he got offered a, contract in the NFL. This dude would have been making money, man. And he turned it down because he wanted to be a missionary for God. And I just think that's so special, man. Like you pass up an opportunity to be in the NFL because you want to devote your life to Christ. Shoot, I'll look up to that any day, man. I'll look up to that any day. That'll be my role model any day of the week.
I gotta ask you, Dalton, especially with that fire, how awesome is it, when you go out and you listen to a press conference and obviously Russell Wilson, the person, and I think I texted you, like, I can't imagine being in a Bible study room of, Justin, you and Russell. I just can't imagine, that type of, of fire, the Christ-like fire, if you will. Like as far as that room. So we talked about the energy of of what it brings to a football field. I can't even imagine, that type of energy just off the field.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, Russell Wilson's, he's a gym, man. He ain't just a 9-time Pro Bowler. He's killing it off the field. He's been a Walter Payton Man of the Year. Like this dude has a good soul. He gets it. Like not a lot of people get it, man. And I think that not a lot of guys understand a couple of things. One, they didn't get to the NFL by themselves. A lot of these guys in the league need to look at themselves in the mirror and look at their phenom-like body and realize, okay, someone else helped me get to where I'm at. I may have worked really hard, but Russell's one of them dudes. And Russell's also one of those dudes that says, this isn't about me. This is about Jesus, right? This isn't about Russell Wilson. This is about Jesus. And I could go on and on about this guy, but you know how excited I am? I'm one that always feels like I can learn. I might be strong in my faith, Cam. I may work in the community, but I never do too much of either of that or too much football to learn from a guy like Russell. So I'm going to do a lot of listening. I'm not going to do a lot of talking when I'm around him. I'm going to do a lot of watching. I'm going to watch what he does. I'm going to learn a lot from this guy. I can't wait to see, what he's all about. I've only been able to hear it. I can't wait to watch it. He seems like a special dude, man. That's for sure.
Dalton, I don't know if you heard the story about Russ, but Randy Gregory was interviewed, and when his situation in Dallas was unraveling, that night, Russ called, FaceTimed, and texted him like 8 different times to check on how he was doing, because he was originally going to sign back with the Cowboys and then the contract situation. When you hear that kind of leadership and also concern and decency and just like, this is your quarterback and he's doing this. I mean, you had your experience with the FaceTime. He's checking on a guy 8 times over the course of the night. What does that mean to you?
That just sounds like who Russell Wilson is, man. It just sounds like who Russell Wilson is. And it doesn't shock me one bit. I think he's the type of guy that you hear what he says and you don't call his bluff. You say, man, I think you're exactly about that. And it doesn't surprise me. I guarantee that he did do that for Randy. And he probably wasn't even doing it so he could get Randy to the Broncos. He was probably doing it because he just wanted to support and be there for Randy and show him that he loves him. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Funny story with me and Randy. The last time Randy Gregory and I talked was when we were at Dallas. It was the maybe first or second play of the game. I scouted Randy all week. Number 94 was a menace. And he lined up right over me the first play. And it was a pass play. He didn't know it. I think he might have known it, but he was talking all sorts of mess, man, trying to get in my head. So we duked it out that first play, and then we duked it out the whole game. And there was a lot of not nice words said. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm kind of mean out there. I had some choice words for Randy, and he had some choice words for me. So it's funny. I walked into the facility, and there Randy was sitting there. We made some eye contact, and I think he was kind of trying to figure out, like, okay, I think that's the dude that I said some things to. So I walk right up to him. I put my arms out like this. He gets up. We give each other a bear hug. And it was so funny, man. The first words out of his mouth were, I think that we may have said some things during the season, bro, but I just wanted to I cut him off. And I'm like, bro, we're on the same team now. We're brothers. I don't have to worry about you no more. You're going to be doing that to other guys on different teams. I'm excited to have you. So kind of a funny backstory with me and Randy there.
Now, I know that everybody's got questions, but we got some comments here we got to get to as well. Graham wants to know, as a blocker, wondering how different it will be having a mobile QB like Russell Wilson to block for.
Yeah, I think that that's always a part of the game of football as an offensive lineman that you have to be prepared for. Not only do you have to be prepared to block for different quarterbacks, I think I've blocked for 7 or 8 different quarterbacks in 3 years. Each one of those quarterbacks is different. Their snap count is different. Their cadence is different. They sound different. They're different in the huddle. Their confidence is different. The way they move around that pocket is different. So I don't know what it's going to be like with Russell Wilson. I don't. But OTAs will be huge. Training camp will be huge. The preseason football games will be big. It's just going to be really big for us to get a feel for him and say, okay, this is what Russell feels like in the pocket. This is how he leads the huddle. This is how he commands the huddle. This is how his cadence sounds. There's going to be a lot of getting used to, man, but that's definitely going to take some work.
Shadow Jacker says, what's more surreal for you, playing in the NFL or playing for your childhood team?
Ooh, man. I think the childhood team part, because playing for my childhood team means that I'm in the NFL, if that makes sense. So the fact that I was that overweight kid in the nosebleeds, eating chicken tenders and drinking a Coke, just dreaming about being a Denver Bronco, man. I think anyone in the world could have taken a picture of me and they would have said, that's going to be our future starting left guard. I think they would have been scared. It's almost like you see pictures of Jokic with the with the Nuggets at him as a kid, and you're like, there's no way that's the same dude that's the MVP in the NBA. I was definitely that kid. So it's definitely a dream come true for me to be a Denver Bronco.
Prophet wants to know if you're going to be at the Aurora Polar Plunge again.
I will not be at the Aurora Polar Plunge. I'll be at the Boulder Polar Plunge on April 9th. So I'm jumping in a lake again, but I feel like I got to mix it up. I can't do it in the same spot. So I'm going to go to Boulder this year. And if you guys don't know what that Polar Plunge is, it's for the Special Olympics for people that have intellectual disabilities, fundraiser to show support for them. So if anyone on this call wants to join me April 9th in Boulder, you guys let me know. We'll rock it out.
That's actually my birthday, and I'm going to be in Denver. So
there you go.
Sounds like
might be fate.
You just invited yourself.
I absolutely did.
Hey, I'll pick you up. I'll pick you up in my truck if you want to, man. We'll go jump in the lake together.
Is it the Raptor?
Okay. Now, I was gonna say, which one, the Raptor or the Ranger?
I got an F2. Okay, so I changed. So a lot of Broncos country doesn't know this yet. I got the old red pickup Ranger that you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
The blue Raptor got swapped out about 9 months ago for an F-250 Super Duty. I went with more of a country boy truck.
Okay.
So this one's an old. It's a brand new truck, but it's kind of like an old country boy truck more than it is a fast one like the Raptor.
I figured you go for the bigger bed. I figured country boy.
That little bed was a little too small for me.
I get you. Crew cab it was a crew cab too, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fine. That's fair.
I was gonna say, as tempting as that offer is, Dalton, I'm gonna be in your rival territory. I'm gonna be over at the Nebraska Cornhuskers spring game that weekend. So unfortunately, I've got to be in enemy territory.
Hey, I got no problem with it. My dream as a kid was to be a Cornhusker. It just didn't pan out for me. So don't worry about it at all, man. Send me pictures of the stadium because I always thought it'd be cool to play there.
No, you're good, man.
Go ahead. Anybody.
So it would be remiss of us to not bring up your beautiful fiance, Whitney. She's incredible. She matches your energy. She makes me laugh. Funny enough, I was scrolling through TikTok and I came across her account and you make a couple of appearances. And I wanted to know, does she kind of run those past you? Are you the creative mastermind there? Because you're always in there. You're always ready to go. You always know the lip syncs. And I just want to know, how's that process? Do you enjoy being on that social media? I know it's different. And I know it's really Whitney's account because she's got a lot of followers.
Yeah. So it's a great question. Thank you so much for asking about Whit. She's going to appreciate that so much. It's her TikTok. She, I don't like the whole social media deal. I really don't like my life being out there. But what I've learned with the NFL is no matter what I do, it's going to be out there. And I support the heck out of my fiance's dreams. So she loves social media. She loves TikTok. She's been able to build a serious brand through there. So what will happen is I'll be sitting here doing something. Whitney will walk in and she'll say, just smile at the camera real quick. And I'll be like, hi. Or she'll say, when I click the start button, I need you to say these 2 words real quick. I'll say them. She'll walk away. Like I give her like 2 or 3 takes too. So we have a rule. Like Whitney worries a lot about like the video and what it looks like and what's in the background. So I've created a rule that says I will always support you and do a quick video for you, but 2 or 3 takes, and we got to accept one of them. We're not going to keep doing this all night. Got to just pick one of them. But yeah, she's behind it. I honestly have none of the ideas. She gets them all because she'll watch TikToks and she'll see what trends are going on. So she's like, oh, this looks fun. Or we'll just do funny ones that we think of together. But she's the mastermind. She tells me what to do. And usually for like every 2 or 3 TikToks, that gets me like an hour on Call of Duty. So it's a good
Nice.
So I was gonna say. So I gotta say, switching back to football a little bit, schematically, because you and I talked about it a little bit before, as far as like what Mike Munchak meant for you, as far as the offensive line coach and being there for a few years. You've got a new offensive line coach now, but it seems like it's a system that is suited for you, Dalton. Like it seems like it's one that is like suited to your strengths, and so I gotta ask. How excited, for you as far as, to be able to be in a system that you are so comfortable with now being in the Butch Berry offensive line system?
I'm stoked, man. It doesn't matter who my coach is. I'm stoked to be a Bronco. I'm stoked to get coached by whoever it is. I'm very bummed at the same time. I'm not going to lie to you. So much respect for Mike Munchak. He's taught us so much. I think that he's helped every one of us on that offensive line grow in so many areas. Absolutely. But I also, along with that comment, have more faith than anyone could imagine in George Paton. And George Paton knows what he's doing. And I know that the staff that he brought on and the staff that Hackett brought on, they're going to help us win football games. So I have no questions or concerns about who my coach is. I'm excited to get to work with Butch Berry. I'm going to do everything I can for that guy. I can't talk too much about who he is, what he's like, what he does, because I've had zero experience with him. I've been able to talk to him on the phone and sit in his office with him. But I won't know any of that till we get out on the field. All I can tell you is I got faith in George Paton. I think Butch is going to be a great coach. I'm excited to see the differences in our schemes. I'm very anxious to see the differences in our play calls and the differences in our terminology. That could be very drastic. There could be a lot of studying going on this summer, which is okay. I'm just excited to see how it goes.
Dalton, what is the most meaningful fan encounter you've ever had?
Oof. There's been so many. I would say that the most meaningful one that I've ever seen was this last year. And I was watching the news, and across the news came this gentleman that was dying from cancer. I don't want to speak for this man, but I'm pretty sure that the doctor said he didn't have very much time left. And they randomly asked him who his favorite player was. And he said he wanted to come to the game to watch Dalton Risner, the hometown boy. And that was like so powerful for me to see and hear. Like, here is this man dying from cancer, and he wants to watch me play at a football game. So you guys know me. You know me too well, Glenn. I wasn't going to pass that up. I talked to Broncos media department. I said, we need to get in touch with this guy. Got in touch with him. I got him. I told him, get as many tickets as you want. Okay, so this is how it really happened. I got his number through one of our media departments, and through that number, I called that number. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I answered, he's like, hello. I told him who I was, and he started laughing. He said, who is this? I said, this is Dalton Risner. And he just burst into tears. He just started, it sends shivers up my back to this day. He just starts bawling and asked me how I got the number. Long story short, we talked for a while. I talked to his son. We got him like 8 tickets to the game, like 3rd or 4th row. We also got him on the field. So he asked me if he could also meet Von Miller and Bradley Chubb. So I grabbed Von and Chubb and took him over there before the game. He got a picture with them. I told him that I was going to dedicate my fight that whole game to him and his fight. It was just really powerful for me. So that moment for me will be one I never forget, and it was a pretty cool deal.
So we've got Graham asking, what other video games do you enjoy?
I'm not too big into video games. If I get a chance to play, it's usually going to just be like Call of Duty Warzone. Other than that, I enjoy Madden from time to time. It's also been in the back of my head to get a season going with Russell at quarterback. Like I'm gonna import the active roster and get that going. So I might have to do that. But other than that, that's probably it, my man. Thank you for the question, though.
I had to add on to that. Have you seen what you look like on Madden? Real talk. Have you seen what you look like?
I don't think so. I was just trying to think. Is it bad?
Yeah, it's bad, man. Yeah, it's bad. It's not good.
Wow.
Worse than Justin?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll find it.
They did me dirty, huh?
Oh yeah.
Peter, not that one. Peter Sanchez wants me to let you know that he loves you and you are very inspiring. He just wants to thank you for what you've done for the community in Denver.
Oh man, wow. Peter, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much, buddy.
Dalton, during the off season, you said you're not, too big on video games. Obviously, you are very busy with WIT and all your house duties and all of those. But what's a hobby that you've picked up or that you'd want to pick up if you had the time to do so?
Yeah, I still have plenty of time and I make time. My work in the community is like something that I love. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but that's a huge hobby of mine. My other hobby is cooking. So like tonight, I'm going to cook up some sausage and bacon and some pancakes. I'm going to do a little breakfast for dinner. I love to cook. I was cooking some lasagna and spaghetti last week. You name it, I like to cook it. So I love to cook, and I also like to visit places and eat their best food. So there's a place called the Little Diner in Vail, which is like a breakfast spot that has no walls. It's all glass windows, so you can see them cook everything. It's awesome. Buckhorn Exchange here in Colorado, awesome spot, really cool, historic spot to go to. Fleming Steakhouse, I can name them on and on and on, but there's just food is my other passion in life. I know it's hard to tell because I'm in such good shape, crazy, but I do love food.
Now, I kind of want to go into some questions that I asked these same things when we had Graham on the show, and it's kind of to get to know you and your teammates. So it's going to be kind of like some yearbook style questions. For example, who on the team is the class clown?
The class clown, Garrett Bowles.
Okay.
All right.
Who is most likely to survive the Hunger Games?
Oh, I would have said my rookie year, Andy Janovich, but I'm going to say Josie Jewell now.
Okay. Yeah, he said the same thing, Josie
Jewell. Graham said, yeah.
Most likely to drop his phone in the toilet.
Oh my gosh, to drop his phone in the toilet. Man, I'd say Alberto.
Okay.
All right.
I think Graham went with Garrett Bowles, wasn't it? Because he would forget he had the phone in between his shoulder and his ear. Most likely to become a superhero.
Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
And then one last one. Most likely to dance in a Beyonce music video.
Oh, okay. All right. Not him. Got it. Understood.
All right, then.
Understood. Yeah. I mean, as a cow named Beyonce, I would have for sure thought it was him.
He said, bye.
Bye. Oh, that was funny.
I can't find that Madden picture, but someone in the comments, get on Madden real quick and send us a picture because it is the worst thing you've ever seen. It is hilarious.
I'm surprised it's worse than Justin's because that's just not even a caricature. Yeah,
it's also fair.
And even though it's pointed out, still, it's great.
All right, so let's get some free agency updates here. Who have we added on the team since the last time we talked about free agency?
We just got K'Wan Williams.
Yeah, I don't think we've had any big signings. I think Randy Gregory was the last big one.
Yeah, I mean Williams is definitely going to be a position that we need to fill. We didn't really have a nickel outside of Aseng Bassi. was the closest thing.
I wasn't sure if that was a or not, so we just went with it.
Yeah.
I am so sorry. My phone died. I grabbed the charger as quick as I could. I know
I'll say is
I
this.
probably only missed a minute, but I'm gonna go with Jay Sims for the Beyonce video.
Okay, I was gonna say it was hilarious at the timing of when it was like you were like, "Peace, I'm out. I'm not answering that one."
I thought he was pleading the fifth. I was like, that's hilarious.
Well, I thought he was afraid to say Coach Hackett. You know.
Oh. No, that would be a Justin Timberlake video.
That's true.
Yeah. No, I would never dip on you guys. My phone died. I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
It was really funny. It's like, Peace,
I was gonna
I'm
say,
done.
it's got to be him. He already has a cow named Beyonce. So.
that was my last one.
I gotta ask though, like, because there was the whole string of questions like that during the season, like during training camp. What, obviously, the Broncos Twitter handle and everything shared those types of questions and stuff. What was your like the hardest question that you had to answer as far as like the string of all of those?
It was the 100 chicken-sized T-Rexes.
Yes,
100 chicken-sized T-Rexes or one T-Rex-sized chicken. And I just was so confused why anyone would go with the one T-Rex-sized chicken, because I feel like it with its beak, it's going to kill you right away. But 100 chicken-sized T-Rexes, you can just keep kicking them and running away.
Anybody who's actually been on a farm knows that that's pretty much roosters in general.
Thank you. Yes. I've been in a cage with 100 chicken-sized T-Rexes, I feel like. Before,
yeah,
so I know
absolutely. They used to scratch up my grandma's chest. We had like a little toy chest that was full of like old broken toys that we would take outside with us to swing on them because we knew they'd be hiding under something to jump up at shit.
I like it.
KB82 asks you, what's it like to block for Javonte? I know you've talked about Javonte before.
Man, I love blocking for Jay. He's a beast. He's one of those dudes that's going to get every inch of yardage he can out there on the football field. He's going to fight for it. He's going to leave no yards out there every single Sunday. And my job as an O-lineman is to, leave no blocks out there either. I'm going to block my tail off all game, knowing that my man Jay is going to be running his stinking butt off all game to get those yards. So I love blocking for Javonte. I think he's going to be a Bronco legend, NFL legend for sure.
So who is your dream jersey swap?
It would have been Tim Tebow. That's an easy one. Now, I would say John Elway would be dope. Dude, unfortunately, a lot of the guys that I feel like I've wanted are going to be out of the league, or they're already out of the league. For me, I'd probably say right now Zach Martin would be one.
Okay. Nice.
I'm an O-lineman, so I love my fellow O-linemen. There's a few offensive linemen in the league like Zach Martin, Batonio with the Browns, and then it was David DeCastro with the Steelers. Those were kind of like three guards that I loved watching. So those have been my guys as of now. So I'm going to say Zach Martin. He's still in the league. I still got a shot at that one. So hopefully Zach Martin at some point.
Well, I mean, you got Tom Brady. He'll be around for another 25 years. So I mean,
I want Tom Brady's son's jersey. He's going to be here.
They're going to be playing together. Is what's going to happen.
Yeah. David DeCastro's a pretty local boy. So
heck yeah, man.
Too. Yeah.
Graham wants to know, what's a place in the world you would love to visit?
A place in the world I would love to visit. I'd say Germany. My family's all from Germany. Risner's a German last name. A lot of German in my family, I'd say. I love brats. I love, what's that stuff called? Sauerkraut. I like all that German type food. And don't get me wrong, I love to drink a beer sometimes, so that's fun. So I think going out to Germany, out there in Frankfurt, would be pretty fun, man.
Yeah, Eberhambach. You got to go to Eberhambach up in the hills. There's I'm not kidding. I've been there. There's like cottages you can rent out up in the hills. The best.
Okay, I'll check on Airbnb, Mr. Boggins. I got you.
Yeah, do it. I'm telling you.
The Real 92 PC. Patrick Chiodi asks, how excited is Dalton to block in an outside zone system?
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. I think that out of all the schemes that I fit, I think this will probably be the best. Not that I can't fit a power scheme or a different type of scheme, but I want to run. I want to get out there and go. I want to stretch the field. I think my edge comes from my leverage and my long arms and my ability to move. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I'm the best type of guy when it comes to road grading a guy 3 yards down the field. Like, that's not going to be I'll do it. I'll do anything you ask of me. Don't get me wrong. But running and stretching the field and using my leverage and speed, I like the idea of that for sure.
I was going to say, so as far as if you were to pick one different skill set or one skill set of yours that you think you are best suited for, what, as far as the offensive line goes, what is your best skill set?
I'd say it's tough. I was going to tell you my leverage, but more than my leverage, it's my heart. And that kind of sounds crazy. Like, how could your heart? But like, dude, I'm going to outwork the guy across from me. I may not have as much talent as Chris Jones or Cameron Hayward or Javon Hayward or Javon Hargrave. Sorry. John Allen with the Washington Commanders, those guys. Like, I went against a lot of guys like that this last year.
Yeah.
And I feel like some of those guys were more athletic. Some of those guys were more naturally talented, but they might have been stronger. But one thing that they're not going to have more than me is work ethic, and I'm going to outwork those guys. So I want to make sure that always stays a part of my game. I want people to continuously see me hustling and putting everything I can into the game, and that's something I take very seriously. So I think that's my biggest skill set. If we're talking really about skills and tools, it would be my leverage and how to use my leverage, use my long arms, get my hands on people first, create separation, don't let them get into my body. I think that's kind of where I excel.
Clayton wants to know, who's the hardest player you ever had to block?
Ooh, I'd probably go John Allen. John Allen or Javon Hargrave.
Okay.
Chris Jones and Cameron Hayward are really good as well. I'm going to get my shot at JJ. I'm going to get my shot at JJ Watt and Aaron Donald this year. So I think I might have a new person at the top of that list, most likely by the end of this year. So yeah, as of now, that's where I'm at.
You got Chandler Jones over there and Khalil Mack too now.
Yeah, right.
Max
Crosby,
why is everybody
Joey
coming to the
Bosa.
West?
Challenge.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It just keeps getting more stacked and more stacked. I don't feel like it's because anyone wants to go to the West. I feel like it's because the West became really good with Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Herbert. That now when your teams like the Chargers and the Broncos were like, listen, if we want to compete with those three dudes, we're going to have to bring in a guy like Russell Wilson. So the Raiders saw we brought in Russell Wilson. They're like, listen, we're going to need more than just Max Crosby.
Yeah.
We're going to need Chandler Jones. And then the Chargers are like, listen, we need more than Joey Bosa. We got to bring in Khalil Mack. I just think that's kind of what's going through people's heads.
So I was asking what your game day routine is, and do you have any superstitions that you could share?
Dude, I have a lot of superstitions. So, like, I can't eat a lot in the morning. When I get to the facility, I have to, like, do the exact same thing. Like, I have to, like, sit in my locker and change and then lay on the floor and listen to, like, certain songs and then get up. And when I go out to the field to warm up, I have to warm up in the same spot. So if someone's in my spot, I either wait or, like, I get upset because I'm on a time crunch. And then I have to, like, shake the fans of hands every single time. I have to give Whitney a kiss. I have to listen to certain songs like Rock of Ages. I have to listen to that. Like, that's like a must listen to on game day. There's like just certain things like that, man, that like I feel like I have to do. I have to pray with my teammates in the shower, which is where we all pray before the game. I can't miss that. I got to be sitting in the same spot when I do that. And if someone grabs my hand wrong and they're trying to like be the one that has the hand over the top, I freak out. I'm like, no, my hands are on top. Like, my hands not on bottom. So little things like that.
Do you know if Coach Hackett is planning to give you a big man touchdown?
Oh, man, I'm not sure. I think if Bronco country has learned anything, I'll just take the ball from Javonte like I did in the preseason game.
Yeah. And do you still take credit for the Lindsey touchdown?
I do. Bay? I don't think Phil wants to give me the credit, but I take credit for sure.
So are you the Colorado? If he was the Colorado kid, like what's your Colorado name?
What'd you say?
Colorado Cowboy?
Yeah. I'll take Colorado Cowboy, man. Listen, I've been from here for a long time. I know that Phil Lindsay was the Colorado kid. I think a lot of people call me the hometown boy, which I kind of like. I think the hometown boy sounds pretty good. But the Colorado Cowboy has a ring to it, Glenn. I like the CC. I kind of like that.
Yeah,
You might have to make a new shirt.
shirt.
You might.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you might have to make a new shirt.
I have too many shirts out there. I got to slow down.
Now, I know that you have a lot of stuff to do, and we don't want to take too much time, but I do want to make sure that we get you to talk about your Rising Up Foundation, so that we can fill in everybody on where they need to go, what they need to do, any support, what you kind of do there. Just kind of summarize what the Rising Up Foundation is for.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for the opportunity. The Rising Up Foundation is my pride and joy. If you guys have listened to this podcast, you've heard my passion for the community. You can check it out at risingup.org. You don't even have to help. You don't have to do anything. Just see what we're up to, man. Follow me. If there's one thing that you could do from tonight, it's stop and help somebody, man. Smile at somebody. Someone you don't know, shake their hand, hold the door for them. Overarching, guys, it's not that hard. Just support number 66, y'all. Cheer on Dalton Risner, man. I love that. I need that. I like that. That's more of a joke, y'all. I know that you guys support me. I know everyone, appreciates me, which is awesome. But more importantly than that, just be kind to people. Slow down your life and take some time out for people in your day. That's exactly what my foundation is about. So if you'd like to check that out, it's at risingup.org and at the Rising Up Foundation on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
Do you plan to write another book? I know you did the book. It was the Rise Up.
Rise Up. Yep.
Yep, I do. I do plan on writing another book. Football is my, big priority right now and accomplishing a lot within the game of football. But as soon as my career is over, or maybe when I get to that point where I've been in the league long enough that I'm comfortable with taking time to do something like that and not, having coaches or a fan base kind of misconstrue where I'm putting my time. If I get to that point in my career, I'll do that. No matter what, it's happening, Cam. But for right now in my life, it's just not something that's going to go down now. But it's funny. I've had like 2 or 3 different publishers and publishing companies reach out to me wanting to do it. So I definitely have some resources to make it happen. I can't wait to do it.
So we got Albert Knopper says Colorado Ranger. And Christos says Deputy Dalton.
I love it.
Take it all. Take it all. Copyright.
Just take all of it. Anybody with any last questions? I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're busy. It's the off season, and you got things to do. So any last questions?
I just wanted to thank Dalton for coming on with us. It's a pleasure. You're an amazing interview, but more than that, it's just your personality and you're taking the time to speak with us and for such a long time. We really thank you, and we can't wait to scream for you next season.
Never change, man. Never change.
Yeah. Likewise, buddy. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, I appreciate all you guys, man. You guys are great people. Thank you for being Broncos fans. Thank you for supporting me and what I stand for and allowing me to be on here, guys. God bless each and every one of y'all. I'm going to go make some dinner for the fiance. You guys enjoy your night, and God bless, okay?
All right. I'll see you at that lunch.
And now I'm peacing out for good. All right?
Yeah. Sure.
Well, I'm glad he came back, because I'll tell you, when he dipped out, I was like,
I was like, you offended somebody, and now I have to quit.
I thought, I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't ask.
There's a place and a time for Queen Bee. Okay.
Can you?
He's got a cow named Beyonce.
Oh, can you put in the comment from the Real 92 PC, which I'm pretty sure is Patrick Keote?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Bree's line. She hates offensive linemen. That's hilarious.
She only loves Tom Brady. That's it.
I only love defensive players. So.
That's
and
true.
Tom Brady.
And Tom Brady. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, so let's kind of turn this a different way. Instead of recapping who we've got, let's dig into who we think we might still get. What holes we still have that either will fill in free agency or fill in the draft.
I mean, it starts with right tackle. I mean, obviously, I know that the rumors are abound with Brandon Shell, and it may or may not happen. But I mean, like, so I think that it's one that is probably maybe the next domino to fall. Maybe another corner. I know that they signed Keywan Williams. Bree's been stumping like crazy for Bryce Callahan, so maybe Bryce Callahan is still in the mix. So but yeah, I was just
Don't forget Nate Hairston. Don't forget Nate Hairston.
And are we still wanting K-Jack back?
Absolutely.
The boys are back. I'm going to start singing the High School Musical song, from High School Musical 3.
Isn't that originally from a different?
When are you going to do it?
What?
Wait, what?
I don't know what happened.
No,
Are you going to do what?
I was saying, when are you going to sing the song?
Oh.
I don't know. I just know that when Drew Lock was drafted and Dalton was drafted, I ended up singing the Backstreet Boys song "I Want It That Way." So I mean, it might actually happen.
And then you get
is that
copyright
Burking?
struck and kicked off Twitter again.
Because that's exactly what did happen, Bree.
Wow.
Fair enough.
I remember that.
Well, I think that Bryce Callahan, may come back. And as far as right tackle, I like if Benny Snell comes or Benny Snell. God, I keep doing that.
Snuckums.
Benny Snell. I swear, I typed it. I googled Benny Snell the other day because it popped in my head when I thought of Brandon Shell. Anyways, I had reached out to a Seahawk friend buddy who's, pretty much told me all I need to know about Brandon Shell is that, like, if you're desperate, he's okay, which is kind of where we're at this point, where we can just kind of throw a bunch of names in a hat and, hope one of them rises to the top at this point. I think a lot of it's going to be in the draft. I think the only bigger spend, quote unquote, is probably potentially a Bryce Callahan. If we got that, I think we're looking real good. So yeah, that's all I think is really coming. And then like spot fills, some extra bodies, cat bodies.
We brought in a corner today, another corner. We have, I still think it's going to come down to Anderson, Compton, and then probably a rookie draft pick for the competition at right tackle. So, do we even have any glaring holes, or is it just more depth?
Oh, right tackle is a glaring hole. Until it's filled,
so?
Right tackle is a glaring hole until it's, filled, in my opinion. But I know that what was interesting and stuff when Dalton was talking was that it seemed like Compton might actually challenge for right tackle, which I thought was pretty interesting. So,
What about the fact that Dalton hopes to play right tackle at some point in his NFL?
Yeah, which I wish Zach Seegers was in here, who was talking mess at me when I mentioned that. But
wasn't there a lot of talk about Dalton Risner playing right tackle either his rookie year? It was his rookie year.
Yeah.
What was that? That there was maybe, but he was projected more as a guard in the NFL, which I get, but still, okay, he can do whatever he sets his mind to. You understand me?
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
Yeah, that's right.
what I was waiting for.
Slow your roll, Boggins.
I'm hardcore. Guys.
No, I know you are.
I've been having some Nick Offerman Lagavulin, so I like to talk.
You're right there.
Ever since Boggins, got himself into the carpool with Dalton off to Boulder to jump.
He's acting all different.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm picturing him, pulling up to your hotel and just waiting there as you come out.
I also feel like Dalton's the type of guy that, like, I would think that I got out of that because I don't want to go in cold water, but he would probably pull up, be like, "Hey man, where are you?" And I'm like, "Why did I agree to this?"
Joke's on you, Boggins. You have to ride in the truck bed though.
I'm down. This is a nice truck. You're talking about 250. That's Super Duty. That's probably super cozy back there. A lot of space. Cozy. Bigger than my bed.
What do you sleep in a matchstick box?
I'll sleep in Dalton Risner's truck. I don't care.
Okay, so this is taking a very weird turn. So I'm going to go ahead and we definitely want to thank Dalton for joining us on the show. All of his the Risner Up Foundation, Instagram, Twitter, all that is down in the description below. So go ahead and click on that and check him out. He really is a great follow. He's very, very inspirational in the things that he posts on social media.
Dude.
I love it.
He's awesome.
So make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on notifications so you can catch all of our content when it's posted. Again, you're listening to the 5280 podcast. We go live every Tuesday at 7654 on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. We also have Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill every Wednesday. Same time, same place. And again, this week, and this week only, we have the Nothing Rhymes with Orange and Blue podcast on Friday. and I believe it's going to be 8765 so that we could accommodate Justin Simmons being on the show. So make sure you tune into that. Again, we want to thank Dalton Risner, everybody that was in the chat, everybody that was here on the show. Go Broncos. And let's do a very quick mile high five, and then we will dip outie.
Isn't it now let's ride?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, it was never dips outie.
We'll do this as we're going out. Let's ride. We just go off screen.
We're not going to do that. All right. Well, you know what?
We somehow get NFL players on our podcast.
You know what? We're going to end it on that. So bye, everybody.
Bye.